Hey everyone, welcome back to Play Casket, and you have both hosts again this time for your turn. Me, your wonderful Paraka, and... Okay, he's just not gonna say anything.
It'll just be me sitting here silently.
Just silently, just like, I'm done. I'm done.
Like, what are you talking about? I'm not here. Yeah. But hey, it's good to be back, though.
Yeah, Ghost came back from his little haunting in Japan. How was that?
Oh, it was awesome. You guys should come. It is great. I think everybody should go see Japan.
Well, I think everyone should actually even just explore a different country a little bit.
Yeah, just travel in
just
general.
one. Spain. Actually, Spain would be pretty cool, like during their Holy Week, because I think that just seems like a whole different type of experience than just normal Spain.
Okay.
I feel like Holy Week during that in Spain would just be something wild.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it'll be just that one thing, like, ooh, whoa, never mind. Like, you know, like it'd be something interesting. But yeah, he's back with all of his weeb. He had like anime eyes for a while. We had to calm him down a little bit. He was like giggling and saying ooh a little too much. And I was like, you need to like mellow down with that. That first of all, we're in person. You don't actually have to say ooh.
Ooh.
But it's been a while. There hasn't really been much more news except everything's kind of wrapped up in this whole sweet baby thing, right? I
Shit's
covered
hilarious.
a lot. I covered a lot on my own, but there was still more that just kept exploding. And honestly, I feel like we should probably hear from you a little bit. So, kind of recap a little bit. Sweet Baby made a stink about a list that just had people say, you know, avoid these games because Sweet Baby is a consulting firm that likes to put diversity, equity, and inclusion into stuff to make stuff more focused on quote-unquote, like, basically surface-level diversity. Anything that just looks the part, so shallow, right? And it's all about, like, some kind of... Some people even argued communism, which I could see where the argument is coming from, honestly. But ultimately, they say it's DEI, and that's this whole equity nonsense, and from there it just kind of steamrolled, and we found more consulting firms like that. Dude, didn't I not call that?
Yeah.
I called that.
Well, it's a huge mafia shakedown. Technically, they're not mafia, but at the same time, too, like, it's so frustrating that a lot of the times they pretend that it's not real. So they'll lie to you, they'll gaslight you, and saying, "Oh, well, they're not doing that really." Well, just ignore our mission statement and our head spokesperson saying these exact words. They did not say that. They're just there to make sure the game launches smoothly. It's like, no, you guys are full of shit.
Yeah. Not to mention, like, dude, anything you post on the internet is on the internet forever type of thing. Like, there was so much, like, receipts from Sweet Baby's, like, co-founder that literally painted them in some of the worst light I have ever seen anything in. Like, it's just the whole, like, down with white people, and, oh, well, I just really don't like gamers, and Asians are white adjacent, so they might as well just be, like, it's a lot
like,
of
what the fuck are you doing in this industry, then?
Yeah, why do you hate it so much to a point that you're willing to put yourself in it to destroy it? Like, what, do you really think you're a secret service agent? Like, I infiltrated, like, dude, one of the people that constantly harp on a lot of the people who are calling out and stuff is just one person who... Her whole bio is just saying that she infiltrated a CPAC thing and she thought she was super secret, which probably wasn't. I'm pretty sure everyone knew you were there. You know, it's just like, what's that one Kotaku writer? Just like, I infiltrated a Discord server. You mean the one with your name on it? That one? When you still went in there with your name and then you started trying to antagonize them to, like, lash out at you, so you like clip them out and stuff, like, haha, the joke's on you type of nonsense. Grow the hell up. Yeah. You know?
Well, it's just be honest about it all. Like, the most annoying thing is just they don't own up to it, and they all think that, like, they're being super slick about it.
Dude, like, one of the first people who came out to help defend Sweet Baby was Black Girl Gamers. And they're like, we never had this type of thing. We were always blah blah blah. And then one of the YouTube personalities, I think it's called Gothix TV. She's a black goth person, just like recently kind of like I guess discovered herself, kind of converted away, but like apparently she was bullied because she didn't take the stance as strongly and vehemently as like the rest of her crew, and she got kind of outed, and she's like, you're wrong because here's the receipts, and people are like, of course you would make up receipts. Like they are so in up their own ass and sniffing farts of their own that anything else that could prove that they're wrong, they're just like, you just made that up. And after that, there's another one that comes up called NNE Saga, another consulting firm that does the other same stuff that everyone else has already said, that we want diversity inclusion, that's why we only hire particular people based on their people of color orientation and all this. Like they're just trying to hire all these people and literally admitting that you are breaking equal opportunity policies and laws to do this. And they all have the same mission statement. Like, we're just gonna make sure everything is so anti-white or anti-male and anti-beauty and anti-fun and anti-game in a game. You know, like like I almost feel like they want to have a what do you call it? Visual novel of just them just saying, you should feel bad about the thing that the skin that you're in, right? Unless you're black, because you're really cool. You do no wrong. Like it's so stupid. It's genuinely so stupid.
We all would forgive it if it wasn't such terribly written garbage.
Well,
and it's also predictable. Like, you know what they're going to do. You know what they're going to say. And then when you call them out on it, they're like, well, actually, we're a lot more slicker than that. It's like...
The thing is, it's ego. It is like, it's really funny when people are upset and they're like, you know what, I'm really tired of seeing this repeatedly over and over and over again. And they're like, huh, sounds like you have a fragile ego. You should just play a game. But really, like, they've gotten tired of it. This has been going on since like 2014, if not longer. Like, why is this slowly devolving into crap? Hell, 2023 just had a review that most people spend time on games older than 6 years old. I wonder why,
I remember
guys.
that.
I wonder why.
I think, most of the games that are, 50% of the most played games right now are 6 years old. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like,
I wonder why. But and it's funny because their ego gets so broken. Like, think about it. They keep mocking you, and it's genuinely projection when you think about it. They mock you for being upset over a constant pattern of ruining your games. Like, man, I want to have some fun with these games. Dude, I'm a huge fan of Mortal Kombat, but 11 and Mortal Kombat 1 are just genuine garbage.
Yeah.
Not only do the characters are just lackluster, like they look like punched balls of mud put on a pile of shoulders. That's basically it. They do not look great. But even then, when you pull back the beauty part of it, it is also, like, vehemently broken. Hell, Mortal Kombat 1 requires over 100 gigs of your space. That tells me you're using, and you can't optimize your game properly, but then you're using excuses like, oh, well, games are just that much better. No, it's not. No, it's not. Literally, Rumblefish is right here. Rumblefish 2 is right here on my desk. You hear this? Yeah, that's me smacking it against the microphone. Rumblefish 2 is still funner fighting game than fucking Mortal Kombat has ever been in 11 and 1.
yeah.
Like, so I wanted to like it, and you've gotten me to a point where I hate the fact that I hate it. But you're trying to make me guilt by it? I'm not buying this. There's so many other broken parts of it, but you're trying to hide behind all of it because of your weird woke bullcrap. And the fact that I say anything, apparently I'm in the problem.
Well, it's all gaslighting, too. That's like the one that really pisses me off.
The whole reason why this whole thing starts is because there was a Steam curated list that says, avoid these games because Sweet Baby's in it. And it was so bad. All it was a list with a few hundred people. Literally a few hundred people in Steam is minute. It is nothing. But it was just that few hundred people broke that person's ego so much that she contacted corporate for Steam and made it a huge announcement to try to characterize and assassinate that one person over a list.
Which is kind of interesting too, because it's like they didn't say don't buy stuff from here. They're just like, here, these guys have interference with these. That was it
in the Steam. But let's all be honest. That's the whole reason why they made the list.
Yeah.
we all know, even the dude, I think his name's Cabrutus Rambo or something like that. He literally said, you can avoid it when you want. I would recommend it because it's not going to be fun.
That was it.
That's it. It's not said on the Steam. It's just, this is the list.
And I don't see why they take such offense if you don't want to take their product. Like,
absolutely. Like, literally, like that's how fragile their ego is. I made this product. Please validate me by buying it. Unless you're a monster,
oh no,
then I want to
monster.
villainize you.
I'm not a
attack
monster.
You.
Like, give me 50. Give me 50, please. Yeah.
Shut up. But that's just how fragile their ego is, dude. Like, it's gotten so bad that several other companies have basically made little hush commands and saying, everybody shut the hell up right now.
Microsoft.
We don't want to be targeted. Microsoft. But literally there's a lot of people who are like reaching out to people like, what's his name? Michael Kern, who runs the Twitter handle Grums. Has been getting a lot of people who's just like, yeah, we've been literally kind of locked away because this cancel culture has been so prominent and villainous on us that they would character assassinate us to a point where we can't even get another job.
Yeah.
And so they've been kind of quiet this entire time, and now that you have enough people that are just tired. We're just tired of all of it. And it's just, we're at a breaking point. We're not broken. We're just at that breaking point where we're like, you're ruining games. You're trying to make it like, this is the culture we built, and you're trying to ruin it for us. And you guys don't even buy it. You'd rather break it because we're having fun.
Well, it's like you go to a restaurant and you order a dish, and you're like, this doesn't look like it's on the menu. Like the dish comes in, you're like, this doesn't look like the menu. And then you're like, it smells really bad. You taste it, like, this tastes awful. And then you look at your friend, and your friend's trying to like pretend that they really like it, but you know that grin, they're like, oh, this is so bad. Yeah. And then everybody in the restaurant's like grinding their teeth and like pretending to eat it and trying to not to eat it. And
because they don't want to be banned from all the restaurants in the neighborhood.
And then you're like, I think the chef messed something up. What? No, you're racist. Like,
yeah. It's a weird metaphor, but it works, dude.
Yeah.
It works because that's how weird it is. Like that's the problem.
It's either everybody in the restaurant is wrong, or the chef is right. Pick one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's really bad. And what's funny is because you have a lot of these major companies like, all right, you all need to shut up right now because this is causing a lot of problems. Capcom decided to do something weird and announced their like localization statement. Like it's like a mission statement for their localizers and stuff, and which is stationed in Osaka. So there's a lot of other weirdness that comes with that too. But it basically is a list where, like, the surface level, you're like, okay, I can understand where it comes from, like context and this and that, blah blah blah. But then when you read the bullet points, it basically says, no, as context, we should like to add our own context type of crap. I'm like, no, that's not how localization goes.
Yeah.
Like, proper localization, when we're talking context, like, if there's something that's a serious cultural thing in Japan that the West wouldn't fully understand, adding a little bit of context to that, like, oh, yeah, I forgot that blah 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 does this blah 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 blah. Like, let's say this is made up. Don't think that I'm making this as a claim. This is made up as a thing. What if in Japan it's considered taboo to not know how to swim, right? And with this game, somebody doesn't know how to swim, and it's just kind of treated as one of those taboo situations. For us in the West, that happens on a regular basis, right? So the translator would have to add a little bit extra to kind of tell us that's the type of culture that this thing's coming from for the context. That is the context we're trying to say is a good example. Not, let's just change it so we change the whole dynamic about it. Oh, we're just talking about racism because that's a better context for us to relate to this. No. You add context for us to understand the concept of what is going on in the game.
Isn't that what those little note things that pop up are used for? Like,
or some to that point, whatever you need to do. Even if you need to add just one more extra, like said subtext of dialogue that says, oh yeah, I forgot. Around here, they really think it's very taboo to not know how to swim, huh? That's all they need to do.
Yeah.
And it won't change the pacing of everything. It literally just gives the Western audience, oh, okay, so they at least get something that gives them the ability to digest what's going on.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, even though too, like, you go back and look like, what the fuck was this?
Yeah.
And it turns out to be a whole lot fucking funnier than you expected it to be. I remember the Xenoblade, was it Xenoblade 2? Xenoblade 2, right? The one with Pyramithra and...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Xenoblade 2 is when else I touched it.
As a weeb and you completely mixed up your Xenoblades, bro,
It's been
there's only
forever.
3 out, well, technically 4, but only 3 out there.
But, yeah, when there was the puppy scene, when she started barking, and, they're like, oh, Tatsu was like, oh, shit, whoops, and he turns it off. And I was like, okay, there's a joke somewhere here. And you go and look it up, and it is the funniest shit ever. And basically, I guess it was like when, because like, if you look at the because like what is it? Tatsu calls him Aniki, which is like brother, but like it's more of like slang for like your mob boss, basically.
Right.
And when girls go in for their first shoot for a dirty video, they have to pretend to be a puppy. And I was like, it comes together and you're like, holy shit, this is the funniest shit ever.
Well, so that context would add, obviously, if that was caught, probably could have raised the M rating if we translated it literally.
Yeah.
Right? But if you added, and this is actually a good example of where you can change some context to kind of allude to that type of thing, like, oh, it's some casting couch nonsense,
yeah.
Like something to that point, right? They could have done that in a rated T way,
yeah,
that would have made that sense, and that's where the localization does come from. Like trying to localize it literally, there's words and phrasing that just doesn't click as well. So the literal you do need to change up a little bit so the sentence structure makes sense to Western audiences.
Yeah.
Like it's just natural, right?
Yeah.
But what they're doing is, and then that's when you see those major headers, like, okay, that makes sense. But then when you read the bullet points, they're like, no, we can technically replace it with memes because that's just because it's so complex. It's a lot easier to just go jokey. No, that's not how it works, morons.
Well, I also remember there's another one. Azumanga Daioh had this one about. It was a joke about Bruce Lee, but the way the Japanese say Bruce Lee is like Blue 3 in a way. So the character says, well, where's Blue 2 and Blue 1? Like, oh, okay. It's like, if you understand the way they speak in like the joke, that's the pun.
Yeah.
But they completely changed it to something else because in English it wouldn't really make much sense. Because it's like, well, it's Bruce Lee, not Blue 3.
Yeah, so for us, it would make sense. So, like, the only time I'll allow absolute replacement of something is if it's like a meme that's very in culture.
Yeah.
That would just land flat here.
Yeah.
So, like, if it's like a meme that's in, like, for instance, Troll Face is here, right? Troll Face was a huge meme for a while. Japan didn't have that, right? They had their own version of that. So they could replace that Troll Face thing with whatever they had that was a variant, which would still have the same impact because it was the same meaning, but it's a completely different context with it.
Yeah.
That's the only time I could see any type of replacement of it, but that's very few and far between when you think about the thing overall. When people are like, no, we need to... No. Memes, fundamentally, are such a minute thing that if they did get replaced with a complete thing that makes sense for both cultures... Mm-hmm. As long as everything else changes around, like kept the same, with no changes or anything, your game would be fine. It's just that like a lot of people keep thinking like that's a slippery slope. No, those are the actual reasons why we had localizers too. You know?
Yeah.
We had genuine localizers for that.
We also have the internet. We could just look it up now. Like.
Yeah. Well, we could, but why would you want to do research if something fell flat? You know what I mean? Like, that comes off, and that makes sense. It's basically comes off as the same way as the people who are very woke, who are like, oh, you don't understand the jokes we make because we're so smart. You know, like that's the localizer's one job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they could literally process all that through AI and then just have somebody who is like an English major rearrange the sentences so it makes sense, and they just pump it out now. Because that's probably going to, even though some of the context will be lost in it because of, like we just explained, it would be way better and way cheaper than hiring these losers.
Yeah.
But going back to the point and why I think that there was a suspicious reason why they did that.
The mission statement?
The whole mission statement, yeah. Is I'm thinking and I could be wrong here, but I'm starting to think like everyone else around Capcom was like basically going, shut up. Mm-hmm. Don't say anything right now. This Gamergate 2 thing is gonna get us in a lot of hot water. And then Capcom opens their damn mouths. Like we can say Capcom is stupid all we want. Sure, fine, right? But not that stupid unless it was deliberate. So I think there was, I think there is a notion of deliberate action with it. So they could go, look at us, we're also suffering. So please fire these bastards.
So everybody would come in and start kick them their heads, yeah.
And so they start digging into everything like Dragon's Dogma and stuff, and they're like, oh, this and this is wrong, this and this is wrong, this and this is wrong. They changed something in Dante's
Well, we had a feeling for the longest time, and the most annoying thing was just like, just own up to it. It makes me so mad that they're like, oh, we didn't do that. You're just...
It goes back to that ego thing.
Yeah.
It's like they never think they could do wrong. So when it does wrong, it's clearly because you think what wrong isn't wrong. It's actually right because I know what's right is and not wrong.
They took out the Mika butt slap. Like, fuck you. It makes you so mad.
The butt slap was my last straw.
It was.
It cracked me because they didn't crack the crack.
Well, it's more of like you see you what is it? You kind of see the writing on the wall, I guess, because you're like, why the fuck did they do that?
Well, when you look at it, you could see, even in like 2014, when this stuff wasn't like becoming very prevalent, something was not right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's weird, but you continued on. That's weird. Continue on. Why is this happening more often?
Yeah.
That is weird. Why is this? Why am I seeing this all the time? This is really weird. Why? Okay, you know what? Something's going on. This is and then once by the time you get to that point, you're crazy. You're stupid. You're just this. You're just upset. You're just and then you're like
mission statement.
You're like okay, and you have a bunch of people talking about it, and then you got the Gamergate thing, and then you got like everybody just like, oh well, we won because they still had like the cancel culture stuff that were just bullying everybody into submission, and like I guess we'll just play the crappy game, you know. But the thing is, now everybody's just had enough. They're tired of trying to like something that doesn't entertain.
Yeah.
They're tired of like, I can't like this game. And the fact that they were trying like, why I love this series. Why can't I love this series anymore? Do I just not like games? No, it's because they made the new ones crap.
No, it's the gamers that are wrong.
Yeah. So there's a lot more people now because a lot of people are like, oh, it wasn't me. I do like these games. You just made the last ones like crap.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's going on now. Is you have a lot more people finally just waking up to the fact. I am smacking the hell out of my microphone while I'm doing this. I'm swinging my arms, but it's making sense for them.
Yeah.
So now they're fighting back because now they're like, you made me feel like I was losing it.
Well, another thing,
but I really love these games.
Yeah. Well, another thing too, you said was they tried to use the ugly female characters to hide the fact that it's AAA slop.
Yeah.
Don't be fooled by that.
Yeah, we were talking about that just before the recording. Is like that whole Star Wars one, right?
Yeah.
The Ubisoft Star Wars one. And they're like,
it's gonna fail because
the thing is,
the Chuds didn't like the Chuds couldn't jerk off to her.
Yeah, but it's funny because like we already know it's gonna fail, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of torn on whether or not they used ugly, like the fact that it's ugly as well, mm-hmm. so that like that way we know something's gonna get fixed, right? And I feel like the problem is if they made it attractive and it failed, they would have like, see, this game would have not liked it even if you liked the hot chicks anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so it would make it feel like you had to be obligated to buy this hot girl Star Wars game. But the woman looks like a foot, the game looks like a foot, the game looks like it plays like a foot, and Nobody needs 3 feet. and I think the game fundamentally, dude, you require online to play a single player game.
Yeah. And it's $120.
Garbage.
It's $120.
Yeah. That's genuinely fucking garbage, dude. Like, genuinely garbage. So this game's already guaranteed to lose, and I'm torn whether or not I'm glad or I'm concerned that the ugliness is going to be changed because of it. Because it's going to fail, and then they're going to be like, I guess it's because the chick wasn't hot enough. But the other there's like other layers underneath it that's going to cause the next game to fail if they continue down this road.
Yeah.
And like it's the same thing with like Mortal Kombat. You have had a lot of arguments before, and I've said Mortal Kombat 11 had way more problems than beauty alone.
Yeah. Well, I guess for me, it was more along the lines of like the surface level shit. Because like you see a dish and you're like, this smells really bad.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh well, it tastes great. Okay, just eat it. It's like, no, it smells really really bad. Like I'm not gonna touch this. Well, you don't know what good food is. Like.
And the thing is, there was a couple games out there that looked bad that were actually better.
Yeah.
Right? And they are. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm willing to give it a go. But fool me once, fool me twice type of thing, I'm not buying into this again. I'm seeing the same pattern. You did not change what you originally you did not change the methods and what caused like Mortal Kombat 11. You have not changed any methods or anything to make Mortal Kombat 1. In fact, you amplified a lot of the methods you used to make Mortal Kombat 1, which just means all the messes that you have are just magically bigger.
Yeah.
You know? And that fundamentally is just gonna it's gonna wreck a lot of the stuff. So, yeah, and people use the ugly thing because they like to do the self-insert so they could make it seem like you're attacking an actual human. That's why they hate anime characters. That's why they're so vitriol against anime-looking characters and art, because it doesn't have their realistic looks into them, so it's like an actual human being. Like, it's all garbage.
I'm surprised you relate to the ugly-ass character, yeah.
Weird, huh?
But also, these people are just ticking time bombs. Like, you guys better get rid of these people. Do not hire them.
Well, like Grubs even said that a lot of these people are saying that they do not produce very well at all.
Yeah.
Like, they don't. So they're just trying to find a reason to fire them now. So you're probably going to see maybe another 4 years of this crap as stuff slowly gets...
Yeah, true.
All the boils get lanced and stuff.
They are too big to pivot, so I'm pretty sure they're like, okay, once their contracts expire, we could choose not to hire them, and then we could just be like, hey...
Yeah. It'll probably be a lot better than getting sued out the ass by DEI, because DEI likes to do that crap.
I don't know. They're still going to get sued for it.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be so many frivolous lawsuits anyway, just to try to drain companies' money into oblivion.
Yeah.
Too. Let's be real.
Well, even then though, it's like, oh, you didn't renew my contract. I'm going to sue you now.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's bully tactics, dude. All of it's bully. That's all they know.
Yeah,
dude. There was one. I think one of them was on a stream or something that just threw a tantrum because it was like. She got like ousted, basically, like outsmarted and insulted, and she just lost her mind on it. I'm like, because that's all they know is tantrums and bullying. That's it. That's literally all they have.
You're gonna learn to date.
So, there's that. But, dude, this stuff was blowing up way too much when you went. Like, I could just see you just seeing, like, sitting at Akihara, and you're like, you know what? This is pretty nice. You're just like hearing all the games and beeping, like, this is zen right now. Well, I'm over here just watching the industry on fire. Like, yeah, this could be fine.
It's only April too, man. Oh man, 2024 has been a freaking crazy year.
Oh my god, dude. And we still have an election going on. We still have somebody who wants to try to start a kinetic war. We have way too much stuff going on. Pray, people, pray. So, but I'd probably just wrap this up right now because honestly, I think it would be a little bit more of a circular thing again.
Okay.
I'd like to thank you all for listening in. As always, if you like our content, feel free to like, subscribe, and share. And as always, we will see you on the other side.
Hey everyone, this is Paraka.
And Ghost.
I would like to say thank you for listening to our podcast.
If you like our content, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe and share our video with your friends.
You can also follow and support us on other social media such as Minds and Rumble. Links in the description below.